Hello students, welcome to All Force e-learning channel. This is K. Nageshwara, your physics faculty. Today we are about to deal with session number 48, first year NEET physics. See, in the last session, till last session we were discussing about relative velocity, isn't it? We have discussed about riverboat model, train umbrella model, escalator, train, buoy model, all these things were completed. And in this session, I'm going to start one new topic. It's a projectile motion. What is that? Projectile motion. Projectile motion. Already we have seen, horizontal motion, vertical motion. These things were studied extensively in motion in a straight line chapter. What happens if a body is projected at some angle with the horizontal? What happens if a body is projected horizontally, with some velocity? What kind of parameters, what kind of details we can explore? All those things we'll be monitoring under the heading projectile motion. So here I'm going to categorize projectile motion into two types based on angle at which a body is projected with the horizontal. Okay, based on angle at which a body is projected. A body is projected. The projectile motion can be categorized into two types. Let theta be the angle. If theta is not equal to 90 degree and theta is not equal to 0 degree, then the projectile motion is called as oblique projectile motion. Oblique projectile motion. Here whatever theta is there, it is the angle made by the initial velocity of the object with the horizontal. What this theta is? This theta is angle made by initial velocity of the object with the horizontal. Okay, if this theta, whatever theta angle made by the object's initial velocity with the horizontal, if that theta is equal to 0 degree, then the projectile motion is called as horizontal projectile motion. Horizontal projectile motion. Now let us study what kind of details we can explore under the heading of oblique projectile motion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to project a body at some angle with the horizontal other than 90 and 0 degree. So what kind of a trajectory it follows? After a time t, what will be its velocity? After a time t, what will be change in velocity? After a time t, how much horizontal distance it has covered? How much vertical distance it has covered? Okay, so like this, you can think about several possible investigations in this case, and we will discuss all those details. So let me start with this oblique projectile motion. Oblique projectile motion, let us see. Oblique projectile motion. I'm going to consider a body projected with an initial velocity u at an angle theta with the horizontal. So this is the horizontal, or from the ground, let us say it is projected at an angle theta with an initial velocity u. So what happens? Do you expect this body to move along this direction, along the direction of initial velocity? No. Once it is released with an initial velocity u, gravity starts controlling the body. So eventually its path, its trajectory will be something like this. Its trajectory will be something like this. And obviously this is what? A parabolic path. And of course we will be proving that. We will derive an equation. That equation indicates that the trajectory followed by the oblique projectile is parabolic path. Okay, so this is what trajectory it follows. Eventually it has to fall somewhere. It has to strike the ground, isn't it? So With the knowledge of vectors, I'm going to resolve this initial velocity into two components. I'll do that. I will imagine y-axis along this direction and x-axis along this direction. So let us say y component is, I'll take it as uy, x component is ux. And from our knowledge of vectors, we have already discussed about resolving a given vector, resolving a given vector into rectangular components. How this u can be resolved into components? This ux, it is equal to what? U cos theta, isn't it? Direction with which the given vector is making an angle theta, with that, along that direction, cos component exists. So uy, it's equal to u sin theta. So these are the two components of velocities that we can obtain for the given initial velocity. There is a need for resolving this initial velocity into two components. If you see this trajectory, when the body is projected from this point, I'll take it as O. Simultaneously, what is happening? It is going up and it is going ahead. In the horizontal direction, it is moving, as well as in the vertical direction also it is moving. It means you can think about two possible components of velocities. One component of velocity taking the body in the upward direction, the other component of velocity of the body taking the body in horizontal direction. Okay, so there is a need of resolving velocity into two components so that you can study this two-dimensional motion in a more qualitative way. Okay, so horizontal component of velocity is u cos theta. So along this direction, how much is the velocity? U cos theta. Vertical component is u sin theta. Let us say after a time t, the particle has reached this point. Here, let the coordinates are x comma y. This point is P. Let the particle has reached a point P after a time t. So after a time t, where it was? It was at a point P whose coordinates are x comma y. What does it mean? Along x-axis, it has traveled a distance equal to x. Along y-axis, it has traveled a distance equal to y. So vertical displacement of the body is y, horizontal displacement of the body is equal to x. And if you want, you can find out that. How you can find out that? See, horizontal displacement of the body can be calculated as horizontal velocity. What is the horizontal component of velocity? Ux. In how much time it has reached this point P in a time t? So ux into t, it's nothing but x. This is the horizontal displacement, isn't it? And what this ux is? Ux is u cos theta. So u cos theta into t. So from this, t can be written as x by u cos theta. So let us take it as equation number 1. Okay. Similarly, in the vertical direction also, it has traveled some distance. How much is that distance? Y is the distance. Remember, children, here, when I have written this equation, x equal to u cos theta into t. Of course, I have used s is equal to ut plus half at square equation only, kinematic equation. But here, acceleration. What acceleration I'm supposed to take in this case? Acceleration along the horizontal direction. Okay. So let us question ourselves. Will there be any acceleration along horizontal direction? Children, here, once the body is released, once it is in air, if any acceleration the body is going to experience, that acceleration is going to be acceleration due to gravity. And that acceleration due to gravity will be always in the downward direction. Always in the downward direction. Will there be any acceleration due to gravity in the horizontal direction? No. Will there be any acceleration in the horizontal direction? No, there won't be any acceleration. So whatever this ux is their horizontal component of velocity, it remains constant throughout its motion. Till it strikes the ground here, this ux remains constant. This is a very, very important point connected with the oblique projectile. Whatever horizontal component of velocity is there, it is constant throughout the motion. So whether you take it here or here or here, everywhere, the horizontal component of velocity will be constant, which is equal to how much? U cos theta. But whereas the vertical component of velocity, uy, that is being controlled by acceleration due to gravity or force of gravity. Okay, so when the body is projected like this, whatever this uy is there, vertical component of velocity, it is trying to take the body vertically in the upward direction, but it was not able to go beyond this point. This is the maximum, vertical distance that it was able to cover. What has happened by the time it has reached here? It is exhausted with the vertical component of velocity. There is no any vertical component of velocity here. Here, Vy, if you imagine Vy, it is 0. Vy is 0. Whatever velocity the body possesses, that is completely what velocity? Horizontal component of velocity only. That Vx is nothing but our Ux. That Ux is what? U cos theta. This is a very, very important point. So at the maximum height or at the top of the trajectory, the vertical component of velocity becomes 0 because, when the body is going in the upward direction, we all know that because of force of gravity, its velocity decreases, and at maximum height, its velocity becomes 0. And from then, it falls down. It falls down like this. So when it is coming down, again its velocity increases. Isn't it? So here, remember students, only the vertical component of velocity of the projected body gets influenced, whereas the horizontal component of velocity remains constant, remains intact, it doesn't change. So throughout the journey, the horizontal component of velocity remains constant, which is equal to u cos theta. Okay, so let us proceed ahead. So that's why, here in case of this one, x, actually what is the equation? X is equal to uxt plus half ax t square. This is what you are supposed to write. So here in the horizontal direction, there is no any acceleration. Okay, so if this term vanishes, if you can replace ux with u cos theta, and this is what you will be ending up, x equal to u cos theta t. So this is how t related expression can be written. Now let us try to find out what y is. Y, how this y can be written? Y is vertical displacement. So y is equal to uyt minus, since the body is, this component is in the vertically upward direction, you have to replace the acceleration with a minus g. So half minus g into t square. Isn't it? Right. In this equation, what is uy? U sin theta. Uy is what? U sin theta. Isn't it? And what about t? Already we have derived expression for t. U sin theta into t is equal to x by u cos theta minus half g. What is t? X by u cos theta. So x square by u square cos square theta. Okay, so that's how the equation can be written. Here u gets cancelled. Sin theta by cos theta, tan theta into x minus g x square by or g by 2u square cos square theta into x square. Okay, so this is what y is. This is what the vertical displacement in a time equal to t. And I'm going to make slight modification in this equation. I'm going to replace this tan theta with a just for convenience. It is not mandatory, just for convenience. Let a is equal to tan theta and b is equal to g by 2u square cos square theta. So if you replace tan theta with a and g by 2u square cos square theta with b, how this equation gets modified? This equation for vertical displacement, it gets modified like this. Y is equal to ax minus bx square. Ax minus bx square. This is a very, very important conclusion. Very, very important conclusion. This is what equation that resembles with the parabola equation. So this equation indicates that path followed by the oblique projectile is what? A parabolic path. So the above equation. See, though you don't know what parabola related equation is, okay, I want you to remember this kind of equation, okay, represents a parabola. Parabola, it takes different forms of equations. This is one of the equation. Okay, so you just remember like that. All of you are familiar with the equation of straight line. Y is equal to mx plus c. It was taught to you at your school level only. Okay, but whereas this one, parabola related equations, these things are not familiar. But you just understand this point. Whatever this kind of a format we see here, that this resembles with the equation of a parabola. So this confirms that the path followed by the oblique projectile is what? Parabolic path. So the above equation confirms that the path followed by an oblique projectile is parabola. Okay, right. What is this a here? You have to remember these things. A is equal to tan theta, b is equal to g by 2u square cos square theta. remembering these values is really very, very important when we face certain problems. We really need this data. Sometimes the equation in the question will be given in this format. Whatever x coefficient is there, that represents tan theta. If you know tan theta, you can find out theta. What is theta? Theta is the angle at which the body is projected. If you know what b is, you can find out what initial velocity is. Okay, so like that, there are advantages of remembering these details. So y is equal to ax minus bx square is what equation of this oblique projectile, and that in that equation a is tan theta, b is g by 2 u square cos square theta. Okay, so these are a few important details connected with this one. And remember, at the maximum height, what is happening to the vertical component of velocity? It is becoming zero. Whatever velocity is present for the oblique projectile at the maximum height, that is equal to horizontal component of velocity only. Okay. Now let us try to solve a few problems based on this one. Okay. Now let us solve this problem. What is this? A particle is projected in xy plane with y-axis along vertical. The point of projection is origin. The equation of the path is y is equal to under root 3x minus g by 2x square, where x and y are in meters. The speed of the projectile in meter per second is. So here path of the projectile is given. Okay, so obviously it is oblique projectile only. It was mentioned in the equation. From the equation it is obvious, right? So let us try to find out the initial velocity. Okay, what was said? A particle is projected in xy plane. So let us consider one xy plane like this. So let us say this is the xy plane. Y-axis is along vertical. The point of projection is origin. So this is the point of projection. So let us say the body is projected like this, with an initial velocity equal to u. With an initial velocity equal to u. Let us say the angle of projection is theta. Angle of projection is theta. Right. So for an oblique projectile, what is the equation for path of its equation of the trajectory? It is expressed as y is equal to tan theta into x minus g by 2 u square cos square theta into x square. Isn't it? That's how we express trajectory equation. Now comparing with the given equation. What is the given equation? Here given equation is y is equal to under root 3 into x minus g by 2 x square. So here what is the coefficient of x? Root 3. Here what is the coefficient of x? Tan theta. So here tan theta is equal to what? Root 3. That implies theta is equal to 60 degree. Theta is equal to 60 degree. Now what is the coefficient of x square? G by 2. What is the coefficient of x square here? G by 2 u square cos square theta. So let us write these two things here. G by 2 u square cos square theta in the main equation is equal to, in the present situation, it is equal to what? G by 2. So g gets cancelled, 2 gets cancelled, therefore u square cos square theta equal to 1. Okay, already we were having details of theta. Theta is equal to 60 degree. Can't we replace it here? So u square cos square 60 degree equal to 1. So u square cos square 60. Cos 60 is 1 by 2. 1 by 2 square 1 by 4. So you will have u square by 4 is equal to 1. So u square equal to 4. U equal to 2 meter per second. So the velocity with which the body is projected in this xy plane is how much? 2 meter per second. Okay. So let us try one more problem. Let us deal with this second problem. What is this? A body is projected with an initial velocity 20 meter per second at 60 degree angle to the horizontal. Its initial velocity vector is, so he is asking about initial velocity vector. What is this? See, if a body is projected at some angle with the horizontal like this, with an initial velocity u, we know that it follows a parabolic path like this. Okay, so let us say this is y-axis, this is x-axis. Now whatever this initial velocity is there, it can be resolved into two components. One component is what? Ux, the other one is uy. And we know that this ux is equal to u cos theta and uy is equal to u sin theta, isn't it? If at all, if you are supposed to express this initial velocity in vector form, how it can be expressed? U bar is equal to ux I cap plus uy z cap. We all know this, isn't it? So this ux is what? U cos theta into I cap plus uy is u sine theta into z cap. Okay, so here theta is given. How much is theta? 60 degree, and u value is also given. So can't we find vector form of this what initial velocity? Yes, of course. So u is 20 cos 60 degree into I cap plus u is again 20 sine 60 degree into z cap. So that's how you can write the vector form. Now let us simplify this. Cos 60 it's 1 by 2 into I cap plus 20 into sine 60 it's root 3 by 2 into j cap, isn't it? So finally what did you get? 10 I cap plus 10 root 3 into j cap. So this is what the initial velocity vector is. Okay, so that's how you can find out the vector form of initial velocity. Let us try one more problem. Okay, let us see this problem. The horizontal and vertical displacements of a projectile are given as x equal to at. X is horizontal displacement and y is equal to bt minus ct square. Then velocity of projection is, so we have to find out velocity of projection, initial velocity of projection. Let us see. See, if a body is projected at some angle with the horizontal with the initial velocity u, the initial velocity can be resolved into two components, right? One is x component, the other one is y component. Here, if you wanted to find out x component, this is how it can be found: dx by dt, isn't it? Rate of change of displacement. So this is equal to d by dt of what is x here? At. So d by dt of at is what? A. Because a is just a constant, you can bring it out of the differentiation, and d by dt of t is 1. So finally, what did you get for ux? Ux is equal to a. If ux and uy are known to us, we can find out u. How it can be calculated? U can be calculated like this: u is equal to ux square plus uy square. Isn't it? This thing we know from our knowledge of vectors. Now let us find out the vertical component of velocity. Uy, how it can be written? Similarly, in the previous case, in whatever way you have written x component velocity, here uy can be written as dy by dt. D by dt of what is y? bt minus ct square. This can be further written as, you can multiply this differential coefficient into the bracket, d by dt of bt minus d by dt of ct square, isn't it? Since this b is just a constant, you can bring it out of the differentiation, and d by dt of t is what? 1. Okay, so here you are left with b minus c can be brought out. Okay, d by dt of t square 2t, so c into 2t. So this is what our y component of velocity is. See, children, at this point, at the origin, what is the time value? Time is equal to 0. Okay, when time equal to 0, at that time also it possesses initial component, right? That's what actually we need. We don't need vertical component of velocity after some time t. This is what? Vertical component of velocity after a time equal to t. We don't need that. We need velocity of projection. Means at origin, whatever initial velocity it was having, that is what we have to find out. If that is what you have to find out, you have to worry about initial vertical component of velocity. Initial vertical component of velocity in the sense, vertical component of velocity at time t equal to 0. Therefore, at t equal to 0, uy, how much is uy? If you replace t with 0, this term vanishes, uy will be b. So now we have got ux value as a and uy value as b. Therefore, what is the velocity of projection? U is equal to under root ux square plus uy square. What is ux? A. So a square plus what is uy? It's b. So b square. So that's how you can find out velocity of projection. Okay. So try to whenever you see a question, try to identify the method of approach. Okay. So when you solve several problems, you will come to know how to handle the problem. Here, some of the students I see they will be confused with this y is equal to bt minus ct square. They compare with y is equal to ax minus bx square equation, whatever equation we have derived. There x is displacement, here t is time. There is a difference. So this equation doesn't resemble with whatever equation oblique projectile is having. Okay. So thank you students. With this I will close the session. Thank you.